Hi, I'm Nancy Bell from Oshkosh Public Library, and this is Book Buzz, where I'll take one book that's recently been getting a lot of buzz on bestsellers lists, review sites, or social media. I'll break it down into definable elements, and I'll suggest 3 books that have similar themes, writing styles, characters, and overall general vibes. Nicholas Sparks has written so many books. And they range from romantic to heartbreaking to really engaging. He has such a varied writing style that really it's affected most by the core message of the novel. So this month we're going to be talking about Nicholas Sparks' newest book, Dreamland. So Dreamland, it's already been on the New York Times bestsellers list. It's been mentioned on Good Morning America, even though it just came out in September. And honestly, whenever Nicholas Sparks comes out with a new book, there's a good amount of buzz on it. So in his newest book, Colby Mills sets aside his dream of a music career after a tragedy that forces him to take charge of his family's small farm in North Carolina. After years of running the farm, he finally takes a vacation to Florida, where he meets Morgan Lee, a recent college graduate who is about to pursue her own dream of a singing career back in Nashville. Knowing that she has a path leading to Tennessee and Colby has responsibilities back in North Carolina, the two quickly fall in love, and they embark on a bumpy road to maybe happily ever after. Woven into this love story is Beverly's intense and suspenseful narration as she flees an abusive husband with her young son, Tommy. And ultimately, these two threads collide in an unforeseen way. So let's go ahead and talk about some elements that I'm going to be looking for in a read-alike. So first and foremost, this is a romance love story. It's really dramatic, especially with the parallel narrative that's going on with Beverly's story, but I'm looking mostly for romances or love stories. I'm looking for a romance or love story that is mostly character-driven, in that their decisions are really what drives the story, although there might be moments where outside events force them into making a certain choice. I'm also going to be looking for a bittersweet tone. This story has a mix of emotions that's both pleasant and painful throughout the story, so I'm going to be looking to match that kind of tone and vibe. It's also it's an engaging book. Our attention is absolutely captured by Colby, Morgan, and Beverly and their story, and we want to see that resolved in an awesome way. As a bonus, I'm going to be trying to find a story or two that has music that's really central to the story. Nicholas Sparks himself said that he wanted to explore the parallel of making music and falling in love. So I'm going to be trying to find some musical read-alikes for us today. So for our first read-alike, I have Our Souls at Night by Kent Haruf. Addie and Lewis are now both widowed and have been neighbors for over 40 years. Being lonely, Addie invites Lewis to share her bed, for the companionship to get through the night, an act which provokes gossip in their small town and the disapproval of their adult children. But it also opens them both to deep friendship and a revival of life. Their bond is further complicated by the extended visit of a grandchild, and everything comes to a head when an ultimatum is issued, forcing one of them to make a difficult choice. Okay, so this might be the outlier for our video today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the elements for why I think that this is a good read-alike. So it is a mostly character-driven story. Their decisions are driving the story, and then, there's moments similar to Dreamland where family responsibility is creating the conflict that makes them make the choices that they do. It's a romance love story with a twist. It's more focused on companionship with themes of friendship, loneliness, and memories. Along with that, it's creating that bittersweet tone. It's that mix of emotions that are pleasant and painful. This book is trending more towards a poignant tone as the writing is more sparse and the characters have regrets and sadness looking into the past. But at its core, I think it does have that similar bittersweet tone, character-driven, almost a love story that makes it a really good read-alike for Dreamland. For a second read-alike, I have something that I think is a much more straightforward read-alike. This one is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. At 13 years old, Persephone, aka Percy, meets Sam. And for 6 summers in idyllic Barry's Bay, the two fall deeply in love, until something goes horribly wrong that last summer. Now 30 years old, Percy returns to Barry's Bay for the first time in 12 years to attend Sam's mother's funeral. And flipping between the past and the present, we go along with Percy to unravel her and Sam's history in a tale of redemption, forgiveness, and returning home. So this one is a little bit more on the nose as it's a contemporary romance and love story. It is, again, mostly character driven. It also has a little bit of a parallel narrative. It has flashbacks to the past to create a similar style to Dreamland, although it's not an entirely different narrative from a different character, but it still has a different set of perspective in that it's from a different time period. It also has that bittersweet tone, almost like edging on a more moving tone. You have similar regrets and sadness of the past that changes into the current love story that really tugs on our emotions and heartstrings, so it makes it a moving tone. As a bonus, there's that theme of home and homecoming and what that means to the characters that is really similar to the characters in Dreamland. And for our final read-alike today, I have one that I think is very specific and has such great parallels to Dreamland that I think that if you like Dreamland, you'll definitely want to read this one. This one is Songs in Ursa Major by Emma Brody. Jessie Reed is on the cusp of music stardom. All it will take is one headlining performance at the Baleen Island Folk Fest in 1969. On the way to the show, he crashes his motorcycle. So Jane Quinn and her bandmates, who are all locals, are asked to replace Jessie in the lineup. They're performing in front of Jessie's fans who are expecting to be disappointed, but Jane plays the show of a lifetime and brings herself into stardom. Jane and Jessie become friends as he recovers from his accident, and Jessie becomes her advocate in the industry, turning a tragedy into friendship and a passionate love affair. So if you read Dreamland for the romance, this is definitely the story for you. This one is historical fiction as it's set in 1969, and you're really going through the 1970s music scene, whereas Dreamland was a contemporary love story. But, you know, I think it's still a really beautiful, similar vibe, although it's not dead on. This story also really focuses on music being central to the story, which was very important in Dreamland. And the romance and love story builds around music similar to it does in Dreamland. Actually, this book is loosely based on the relationship between Joni Mitchell and James Taylor, so it has a little bit more authenticity to its story. And because we all kind of know how that love story ended up, it does have that bittersweet tone again, the pleasant and painful emotions on the page. It's also really character driven, with Jane and Jessie absolutely driving the plot, although there are a couple of moments where outside influences create their decisions. And those are the 3 read-alikes I have for you today. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe to the library's YouTube channel for more content. If you have any questions or suggestions, please go ahead and leave a comment. Or you can always get a hold of me at the library reference desk, which I'll leave a link to down below. Thanks so much for watching, and let's all get back to reading.